You want music on?
I don't know. We usually do music, but I guess we're not doing music today. We're already live. Hey, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace.
Music will come. Music will come. So thank you all. Whoever's watching, we'll see you as you pop up.
Yes.
We're back again.
We missed a month, but we are back April 11th, the Eat Off Art podcast.
Yeah, it's exciting. We love doing this.
We do, because we love talking to people.
We're on our blue couch.
Always.
So welcome into our living space.
And we're still in the middle of COVID. We are still in the middle of wherever we are, which means...
Wait.
What?
Don't say middle, because middle implies that there's a whole nother half of this year and a half that we've been through. That's what a middle implies.
We are in the midst of where we are right now.
Yeah, don't say middle, man. Don't.
This is one way that we enjoy connecting with people.
You just really made me right? I'm just like, yo, do not middle, dude.
I know.
Middle?
Okay, well, we are in the midst. And there's light in the tunnel. I am Alexa. That is Idris. Mm-hmm. And we are Eat Off Art.
And my glasses are fogging up because I got I got on my thick merchant. This thing is so thick.
I got the lightweight one.
It is thick. So I might be.
He's got the champion gear.
This is thick. So it's making me perspire.
And you got a big bright light.
And see, look at that. You can see it in my glasses.
I can. Maybe you want to take those off.
Dang.
Keep some tissue close.
Well, I'm sweating.
And we're here sipping our tea.
That's even making me more hot.
Because we're ready for what we're about to experience today with Mrs. Lorraine West of Lorraine West Jewelry. And we're really excited.
Yeah, and we're going to be as tight as we can. We have a lot to discuss with her, and she's
busy entrepreneur.
Super busy. So let me just get to
without further ado.
Yeah, let me get to the bio then.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So, person who we're going to be interviewing today and having a discussion with, her name is Lorraine West. We've been following her for quite some time now, and to watch her growth and her ascension has been, remarkable and super inspiring. So we're all about continuing to share inspiration, even if it's not from us, but it's from other people in the art community, and she is not a Buffalonian. She is in New York City. Yes. So we have extended our reach, thankfully. I'm very, very happy to have her. We didn't think we'd
making connections,
have the ability to have her on with us. So here we are. She's a mother, a wife, an artisan. Her handcrafted contemporary fine jewelry pieces are inspired by love and passion for connecting with people on an intuitive and authentic level. You should love that. That speaks to everything that we love to share with people. She's a self-taught craftswoman with Caribbean roots, which we'll talk about. Working with her hands came naturally thanks to her mother, who's a baker, and her father, a carpenter. So
I love that.
You see the Eat Off Art there? Baker, carpenter. Come on, man.
Eat.
So wielding and manipulating precious metals is what heals her soul. It's more than a technique, it's a spiritual process that's poured into every design, and it's very evident in you when you see her work. And it's evidenced by jewelry that is much high-end art as it is high fashion. Her symbolic and geometric designs have not only been seen on stars from Zendaya to Beyonce, but also on countless everyday people like you all and us who are drawn to the excellence of her craft. She graduated from FIT with a BFA in illustration and lives in Brooklyn with her son and husband, who both continue to support her handcrafted creations, all made with LOVE. See that? Love wins. So it's more than just a phrase and the notion. So super excited to see where this conversation goes. I would try to stick to the script, but I get excited when
he has those butterfly moments
of
love and excitement.
Yes. So you take it over.
All right. So without further ado, again, we are going to bring on Miss Lorraine West.
You there?
Hey.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Look, I'm wearing my love sweatshirt too.
Yes. Love wins.
Love everywhere.
Love wins.
I didn't realize you had love on too.
Love is gangster. We got love
That's
today.
It's
all about love.
It's one of my favorite sweatshirts now. I can't wait to purchase some more.
Yeah, we're gonna hook you up.
That's right. That's right. Eat off art.
Thank you for the lovely intro. I was enjoying just watching you two converse with one another. It's so much fun.
Thank you. Yeah, this is that's why I was saying, like, this is the only thing that's missing is you don't have your feet up on the couch next to us. That's all.
Yeah, we got to do that next once things can.
That we're definitely looking
back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I haven't been to Brooklyn in a
couple years.
About a dime, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
It's been a minute.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long.
Well, it's a little bit of a trek, right? Buffalo.
From Buffalo.
Yeah, driving about 7 hours.
Yeah.
7 hours. Yeah.
We took the train there with the boys a couple years ago, and that was fun. So we got up to Harlem, and I think that spurred a lot in them too.
That was cool.
That was a great trip.
That was cool. Yeah, that was the first time taking the boys. They went to Times Square. You know, all of the usual.
Yeah, all the touristy. You got to take them there.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, sometimes I walk by there. I mean, now it's obviously they still have their lights and it's a little different with crowds now. However, there's times when I'm there at a certain time and it's, the sun's going down, you see the bright lights. Even I'm amazed, like, even though I've been here for a long time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. So is Brooklyn? So we're gonna get right into it.
Yeah.
So is Brooklyn home to you, or were you born someplace else and kind of moved to Brooklyn, or?
Yeah, well, let's rewind all the way back before birth.
All right, yes.
So my parents are from the Caribbean, born and raised. My mom's from Trinidad, and my dad is Jamaican. So they met in Brooklyn. They both moved here, obviously independently, and met each other through a chance meeting. Got married and had a couple kids before me, and then they moved to Long Island. Actually, my dad is my mom's second husband. She was married first and had 3 girls, so I have 3 older sisters, and then my mom had actually a child before me and after me, which passed away at birth. And then my older brother, myself, and my younger brother. So those are the kids from my dad and my mom. But we all grew up together. So
that's a full family of love for real.
Yeah. So I don't consider my sisters half because we all came from the same womb. So it's like we grew up together. But my brothers and I, we had the double DNA.
Yeah.
Match, yeah. But we're all super close. We just saw each other for the first time in over a year. And we had such a great time, all the kids, the nieces and nephews, and it was like no time lost, And my mom remarried after, my mom and dad split after 17 years, and she remarried. And my stepdad, who, may he rest in peace, he passed away almost 2 years ago. Actually, in 2 days will be 2 years. Wow. So my mom is still around. She's going to be 80 in May. And we grew up in Long Island. And when I graduated from high school, I went to the city in August of 1994 to attend FIT, studied illustration. And it was during my junior year that I stumbled upon jewelry making. So we can get to that later.
I mean, while we're there, there.
Cool.
What did that look like? Like, what did that look like because I mean, you and I have chatted offline, back and forth. So I just appreciate, the fact that we're able to connect, like I love that social media allows for those kind of organic kind of opportunities, kind of really kick it, right? And so Lorraine was always telling me, she's like, man, I used to draw all the time. Like I was an artist. I'm like, man. So what was that like for you as a visual artist and not really seeing jewelry up ahead? Explain like that bridge. Like what was that like when you finally discovered jewelry or metalsmithing?
Okay. Well, I'll go back a little bit before I answer that question, but drawing was always something that was a part of my creative DNA. I was always into the creative arts, drawing and sculpture since I was a child. So it was really like first grade, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an artist. I wasn't sure what kind, but I continued to do drawing and started dabbling with paint in high school. And so when it came time to before graduation to apply for college, I applied to Syracuse. I applied to a few other spots that I can't think of right now, and FIT. FIT was the only college that accepted me. And so I felt like that's where I was supposed to be. I'm so grateful that I did end up there because the city is the campus. You know what I mean? So it's like meeting so many different types of people, all walks of life, experience, age, being in college with people that had just got out of high school, and then being in college with people that they're on their second, third, fourth time in school, married with kids, just different types of scenarios. I thought was interesting within itself, Yeah. So it was almost like you had the peership in school, but then you also had people that had more experience than me. Like, why are they in school again? They're amazing, but they're trying something else or, further in their education. So anyway, during my junior year, I was very curious about trying some different types of mediums. And it was something that was just in my heart and in my spirit. And one day I was walking in Midtown and walked past this supplier called Tohoshi that's still around. It's actually one of the only ones that's still open. They sell like beading supplies and, different things like that. And walked in and fell in love. It was just like a kid in a candy store. And I always loved jewelry. I was always connected to my mom's pieces and my sister, one of my older sisters, in the 90s, she wore a lot of chokers. And, to this day, I just went, stayed at her house when I went to visit, and she's got like cabinets full of costume jewelry, but really cool stuff, So I was like, wow, I'd say that my mom influenced me a lot, but I don't think I give my sister Leslyn enough props. Like, she influenced me a whole lot too, Actually, there's a picture on my IG of me in high school.
And that
was my sister's set. Like, I basically never bought, let me not say never. I did buy a few sterling silver pieces from like the mall kiosk, or I used to like shows, what do you call those? Flea markets.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, my mom or like some of her close friends that were in the city would take us to the city and we'd go to like the Chelsea flea markets and stuff. And back then, I mean, in the 80s and 90s, it was popping then,
Right.
I started collecting for myself, not knowing that I was going to ever be a designer. So anyway, back to the supply spot, went in there, bought some things, some pliers and wire bead. And then I went to a few other spots, got like cowrie shells and different things. I just started experimenting, with found objects and prefab components, and just started. It was nothing that I had planned to do full time, planned to do for a business. It was just for fun, and I enjoyed giving it away to friends. And then one day at a part-time job, I was working at a juice bar. So I think at this time I was 19, and so I worked like 2 days a week, and I went to school 5 days a week. So my time was just like taken up with school, work, and then at night hanging out with my friends, going to the parties, going to the clubs. Like, I love house music and dance music, and so that was like my life,
Go all night long.
Exactly. And then it was just find time, trying out the jewelry, the wire work, and a lot of wires, and started beading, and then got into working with feathers and leather. And then I took one course during my senior year of school. I think it was 98, 97, 98, and tried lost wax casting. I made 2 pieces and loved that, but I didn't have my own equipment. So I saved up. So by the time I graduated, I saved up and bought a flex shaft, which I still use to this day. And then over the years, just started buying supplies and tools and expanding my practice. So that's how it happened. It was just like, it's something I've been saying a lot lately, and maybe it's true, that I didn't think about earlier in my career, that perhaps, an ancestor like whispered in my ear to go inside. And it's one of those things that is so like, why did I go in there? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, not having any kind of desire or background, just like the courage to just walk in and be like, I'm gonna buy this stuff, I'm gonna try it. You know what I mean? Like,
why not?
Yeah, so
definitely being led. That's amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I think I was definitely being led.
And you listen. You were you were in a good space in order to listen. That's the other piece, that sometimes we're just so blocked off from so many things that we don't even know the messages we're receiving.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we need to go back to those moments in life when we did feel fearless, and we didn't have any blockages to say, how can I tap back in? I mean, it's not like you can replicate that time. It was special. It's where you were at that moment, but just to kind of use it as inspiration or make a choice, when you're going through those moments where you feel, I don't know if I could do this, it's just like, okay, remember the time, like that Michael Jackson song, remember the time.
Yes.
Remember the time when we fell in love? You could say that to yourself, you know what I mean? Like, and that's another thing that's been coming up a lot for me is when you look at inspirational posts, or you pick up a book, I like to read self-help books, inspirational books, and the things that's coming up lately is like, well, maybe the thing you're looking for is you. You know what I mean? So even though we have our partners in life, we have our children, we have business partners, we have clients, we have friends, that if you are in tune with you and like really know who you are, and when I say that, it's so easy to say, oh, you know who you are. I mean, like, know all of you, like the bullshit parts, the great parts, to really check yourself and to stay on the right track of the highest version of you that you can give to yourself and you can give to the people that you love. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is like really tapping into that,
That's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful that you said, because I have a big sister. When you mentioned about your big sister, I got a lot of my influence from my big sister. My sister is 4 years older than me. Always has style. You
borrowed her clothes.
I used to borrow my sister's clothes. Like she would.
Same here.
Like not her dresses and stuff, but she would have like general kind of dope stuff, and I'd be
exactly.
Exactly. Right, dry clean. Right, I got her clothes. Why are you wearing my stuff? But I had a conversation with her earlier today, and we were talking about exactly what you're saying. Like you said, the thing you're looking for is you. Like, and then we were talking about the difference between planning and being guided. So you're saying like that moment when you walked into that store, like that wasn't planned, that was a guide. Like you were being guided, So she and I were just talking about, we need to learn and get back to what it feels like to be guided, like and be sensitive, because what that guidance is going to coerce you to make a choice. Like and it's a simple thing. I'm going to go in here, or no, I'm not going to go in there. Or, so you speaking to that was very rich already. That was beautiful.
Oh yeah. And then there was other moments in my career that same energy, like I just felt comfortable, and I use those moments as a reminder to be fearless, because now as I'm growing as a person, my business is growing, I do have moments of fear that come up. I do have, and those moments of being indecisive. Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Should I connect with this person? Should I not? Should I make this piece? Will this piece be good for the collection? Should I make a new collection? All these different things, you know what I mean? But sometimes we just got to stop the chatter and make a plan. Something that I've been using a lot is Google Docs. My business partner, who is a business person, she is an urban planner, and she helps other small businesses as well. There was a time where I didn't want to look at those things. I didn't want to write lists and write down these things. And Now it's just like planning. It's like, wow, planning the operations side is a new art, a new skill that I'm developing.
How do you feel you're doing with it? Like, because that's where we are. Like, Lex is very structured planning. I mean, she's creative side too, but between the two of us, she's the one who keeps us on track.
I know, because when she sent the text, like, she was like, listen, I need the photo. And of course I was like, oh my God, girl, I'm so sorry I didn't send it to you.
So how does learning that language feel for you?
Yeah.
Like, being that you're always on the more so creative, developing new ideas side, how does that language feel for you in knowing that structure is important to your growth? Like, what does that feel like?
Well, it's definitely a new love language that I'm connecting with. And I was resistant for many years. I felt like I did enough to push things forward, like did enough, knew enough to sell the piece, deal with the customers, sell the piece and all that. But there's so much more to it. There's really understanding your status in terms of what's happening in your business, like the numbers, what's selling, what you should consider to expand upon, especially with, in fashion, you have pieces. In jewelry, you can pretty much sell the same thing forever if it keeps selling, but then you want to create connections to it, like a family, children, and different. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if people out there, but
no, yeah. Well, we know.
Yeah. So if you have like a popular ring, it stands alone.
Goes along with it.
Yeah. Well, what about an earring? What about a necklace?
Right.
What's the scale? Are you going to carry different scale of these pieces? So now that creates more SKUs, more units for you to sell. Are you going to have them in different metal ways? Are you going to add gemstones? So it's pretty much, you can go on and on with, you can have one piece and you can end up with 100 SKUs because you can do it in so many different ways. So that's the thing I love about the jewelry,
Yeah.
And then it's something that you can wear every day. So especially if it's a high price pointed piece and you're making a large investment, the fact that you can wear it every day, you can kind of estimate, okay, if I have this piece for my whole lifetime, I'm only paying X amount of cents or dollars per day, and then you get to pass it off to your children. So if you look at it like that, it's an investment.
Yeah.
Yes.
And speaking of investments and children, you come from a very, very creative household. With, a lot of kids, but your household is very creative as well. You want to share a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. So my husband, we actually met over 20 years ago at the Sunday Tea Party. This DJ named Ian Friday used to throw these gatherings on Sunday night at Frank's Lounge in Brooklyn, Fort Greene, which actually just closed. So people that live in Fort Greene are familiar with Frank's Lounge. And it had 2 floors. The bottom floor was a bar, and then the second floor was just like this open space. And local poets, musicians, even some very famous people came out of there. And we met there, and I had no clue. Again, he's another one. He's kind of like the jewelry, walking into the supply store. I had no clue he was going to end up being my man,
Right.
And we have a kid, but super creative. He was one of the performers I used to love watching him perform. And then, we both had our lives. We actually were together for a short time at one point, 10 years prior, before getting back together. And that was on me. I felt I was self-sabotaging because he was pretty much perfect. And I was just like, I don't know.
You're too perfect.
Yeah, you're too perfect. The artist, you want drama, like you want the bad boy. So anyway, he came back around and we developed a friendship. And then next thing you know, we just ended up getting back together. We've been together ever since, 11 years since then. And he is a musician. He writes, he sings, he rhymes, he creates his music, digital, plays little instruments by ear. And he's also a really dope visual artist. And then our son is just amazing. He's like the best of both of us, and he's just super sweet, and gorgeous and wonderful and loving and super smart. He's learning French, and he can do so many different things. He's good at drawing, creating. He's great on stage. He likes to sing and dance. He loves video games. He loves his friends. He loves his parents. He's just a really amazing kid. I'm so excited to be his mom.
Yeah,
so we're always, in the midst of creating. So I work in our living room space. I have my jeweler's bench there. So I'm always making a lot of noise, hammering and sketching, conversing with clients, meetings. And then Sol, he has one of our smaller rooms where he can lock the door since he's recording. And he has a whole setup in there. And our son, he has his little space that he does his thing. Oh, he loves to read too. He reads. He loves to read.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's really good at writing. So we're trying to maybe even encourage him as we get closer to the end of his elementary school years to really get into his writing, because he can go through a book so fast, like a graphic novel like this thick. He can go through and retain it and tell you all about the story. Is phenomenal. So they say like people that read a lot end up being good writers. So
yes,
we'll give him some projects to do.
And fostering that creative mind is, it's so important.
That's exciting.
Oh yeah, actually, he helps me edit some of my writing too. Like sometimes he helps me edit. He edited some of those bios that I sent over to you.
Wow, that's awesome. That is really cool, because what's really beautiful about what you're saying too is the fact that the same way that you mentioned in your bio, about your mom and your dad's influence. Like, there's no doubt that Sally's going, when the time comes, he's got stories.
Yeah.
He's gonna have stories about, when my dad was, musician, art, my mom was gonna be like, yeah, no wonder you turned out like this,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited for him, and also too, not to pressure him to be this thing. He doesn't know what he's gonna do yet. You know what I mean? Look at me. I was always creative, but I didn't know that I was going to end up being a jeweler. Something could prompt him to go in a certain direction. His dad and I, we just want him to be healthy, happy, and loved, and do something positive with his life.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, we support, as long as it's like high vibrational for him and what he wants to give to the world. So,
and that's so important just for mental health for them, to show them that early, and to give them the space to express themselves no matter which way it is, and just let them be their creative selves, because you never know what you are encouraging and what seeds you're planting, with these young folks who are sponges.
No, absolutely.
You have a question?
I do.
Okay.
So being that, because like you said off camera, we were talking about just how creative your household is, and same here, we related automatically.
I'm trying to fix the hair, sorry.
the artist in you. Bring it up. So do you remember like the challenges, or did you have challenges of declaring and giving yourself permission to live as an artist, or to want to live a lifestyle of being creative? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because for me, I was met with a lot of resistance in the sense of, having to fit in to the conformity of, the regular checkbox occupations, but I never felt like they fit me, I forced myself into those things. And it wasn't until I sort of liberated myself, and then, I'm obviously with support of another creative person who spoke my language. So the long way around my question is, did you have resistance, or did you always have support as like, Lorraine, go be an artist, go create jewelry, or, chase your
dreams, what you want?
That's a great question. For one, I can relate to you. Before I answer the question, is since I was young, I always felt I was different. I always felt like I'm not gonna say I didn't fit in, because I was very social. even though my parents were very creative and I saw them be entrepreneurs, with my mother, my biological dad, they had a lot of, dysfunction happening with them. So this is what was happening at home. And when I would go to school, school was like my place to fellowship with my, classmates and friends. So I pretty much like blocked out all the things that was happening at home. And it's possible that I had some ability and I took that ability and just fostered it into the art, So my parents were supportive, they never told me not to be an artist. They definitely supported me, my siblings. That same sister, Leslyn, who I was inspired by, she supported me a lot. And my brothers, of course. But there were times that the same people that supported me would doubt, not so much me, but just doubt just the art industry because they didn't understand it. So there'd be times that I'd be told, oh, you're going to be a starving artist or you're never going to make it. And it's not like they were trying to hurt my feelings or they didn't believe in me. They just didn't know for themselves, like what that looked like.
Yep.
So, or perhaps they've seen people in the world that hadn't succeeded. They didn't want to see me fail, So I never took those things as an opportunity for me not to move forward. I took it as a means to move forward even more, So I've had many instances and encounters with different people in my life that might have told me that, I should do something else. I'm not going to make it. How are you going to make a living? But I just always believed. I always believed I could.
That was the next part of it. Like, so eventually you just kind of just in your mind, you just had your mind set that this is it. Like,
this is me.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. Yeah.
I had my mind set. And, throughout, I would say when I was in college, you work your little part-time jobs. And then when I graduated from college, I did little part-time jobs here and there, but I always stayed creating and selling my work, So even before I started creating jewelry for sale, I was selling my paintings. I was making color copies at Kinko's and selling prints, I was painting bottles and wrapping, twine around it. I was doing all kinds of creative stuff, painting tables, painting houses. I did all these kind of creative hustles. And I knew that wasn't going to be the be all end all, but I just stayed in that creative zone, So I always knew what it was like to get paid for my talent. But once I started selling my jewelry, that was like a whole nother level of excitement. Like, wow, I can sell this and this person's going to wear my art.
Right.
They're going to wear it. They're going to be seen in it. They're going to get complimented on it. They're going to be asked, where'd you get it? And they're going to say, hey, I want to hook up with them. Like the amount of people that I've worked with by word of mouth alone, incredible, before the internet, before I started using internet, before social media,
Right.
So this is almost like a second coming in a sense, because I've been doing this for 22 years. So these last 10, 11 years has really been about learning how to connect with the customer in a different way, where I'm not always going to be in front of them. Right? So the first 10 years, I was used to connecting with every single person in person. So I think it's great to have had the experience, the analog experience all the way, and now we're in a new age, and I feel like I was able to transition well because I started selling on Etsy first, I think. Because for many years, I didn't even have a website. I was just like word of mouth. I would do events. I would sell. I'd go in the street in Soho and sell, So like from 99 to 2009 was just kind of like very like hustle mode. And been in stores. I've tried so many different things. It's like such a hodgepodge career. But I feel like the last 10 years has been more about organizing and, operating the business in a certain way.
I love it.
It never ends. I think even if, if the business becomes, bigger than even what I can imagine, it's always going to be something to learn and grow. The more you have team members, you have to train them, they have to follow through to build that department that they're working in. So it's exciting. I mean, the next stage is to hire staff and,
Yeah,
that was my
yeah. I mean, really, my next
step.
yeah, my next dream is really like I want to have a studio / showroom where we have the bench jewelers in the back. I have assistants, and then in the front is a beautiful showroom with beautiful table with 2 chairs, so I can meet, 2 clients. Usually, that's like the bride and groom to be, or groom and groom, or bride and bride. I work with so many different types of people, and then stylists can come and pick up their pulls, and because right now everything is done remotely,
right,
which is actually working out beautiful. But I'd love to connect with the clients in person, so that would be really cool.
I'm glad you said all that, because that was one of my questions. Like, what was next? Do you see, I was gonna do you see Lorraine just kind of still just doing it one of, by yourself, or did you see having like growing it, to where you're able to see it from a bird's eye view?
Right.
So you just answered that. On top of that, how things have changed over the past 16 months or what have you. How has what have been the challenges or the surprise successes for you, considering how the nature of things have changed given COVID? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, were there more, the challenges that came, did you find more rewards in those challenges, or did you find like just things that you just like, okay, I can't do that anymore,
and just had to shift?
Yeah, both. Yeah, definitely, like 50-50.
Okay.
So prior to COVID, I would say things shut down in March. So I had to shut down the custom find because I wasn't able to access the things I needed in the district. I can't access the casting companies, the suppliers. And at that time, I was used to just doing everything myself, whether it's like working at my studio at home and buying the materials in the city. I didn't really order materials online ever. Everything I got was in the district. And if I had to deal with any third-party contractors or partners, I would just deal with them directly. So it was kind of like a culture shock for me, when everything shut down, because I think the district was shut down. Diamond District was shut down for like 2 to 3 months. So I had my online shop, which I didn't really promote. It was more so, let me have a website that has product up, has a bio. I think that every artist should have a website, whether they're going to sell something or not. It should be your main hub besides your social media, just in case the social media platform shut down.
Exactly.
One day, they can always find you. So I had the website, and I would get, maybe 5 to 10, 15 sales a month because I wasn't promoting it. Sometimes I would get a big sale, like maybe a promotional sale, like someone needed, 50 pieces for a party that they're doing, or, things like that. So March, I got a little bit more sales. Then April, maybe got like 25 sales. Then May got like 50 sales. I was like, wow, I've never even handled 50 at one time. And then June came, and that was it. Like June 2nd, it skyrocketed. I had like hundreds of orders in June alone. In July, then August. So what I learned from that was I was excited, to see all these orders, but I didn't realize how much work it was going to be. I was not prepared or set up for it. So it took months to complete these orders, and I had to kind of complete them in batches based on the type of product. And then, what about help? Get help. We're in COVID. I'm not going to have people come in my house and help me, and I don't really have time to train anybody either. So it's like I just have to kind of go full speed ahead. And I had to just take the plunge and dive in. And I did complete the orders, and the customers in the end were happy. But it was a lot. It was like communicating with customers on the dates, when They can expect things. Sometimes I was on point, sometimes I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's not like I wasn't on point because I wasn't working. I was working around the clock.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I was like barely sleeping. You know? And so I was constantly working. And what it taught me was I don't need to be working like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an artist, I'm a creator. I need to focus on being the artist and the creator. So I realized, you know what? The end of December, I put the website shop on pause, on vacation, and hired someone to put up a new beautiful landing page where I can link the third-party retailers that I have. So I knew that I was able to manage those orders. Some of the retailers already had stock, and some of them they replenish when they get a sale. But that's like the fine jewelry. So with fine, it's a little different. You know, you can sell one piece and you can make, you know, your goal for the month.
Yeah, it can float you for a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and you have a different type of time for that. So it's been really cool to just rethink what I want the rest of the year to look like. So really the first quarter has been still, you know, getting back into the custom fine, getting used to working with the customer in a certain type of way. I've created a new system to work with the customers that I really like and the customers seem to like. It's very new, you know, and doing well with the third-party retailers, you know, building the relationships with them, seeing the sales, seeing customers get excited, planning what's next for the next 3 quarters with them, their partnerships. So the website will be back up soon. Most likely, for sure, it will be back up by the first week in June, because that's really where we need to be to kind of exceed the goals from last year.
Yeah,
you know, we want to beat those goals, even though it was kind of an organic situation. We do feel like we will be able to beat those numbers, and prices have changed. You know, we'll have a certain quantity available that we can fulfill within X amount of time. We'll have some ready to ship. So it's been a blessing to see where the challenges are and how you can solve the problem. I think that being a creative is about solving problems, you know, whether it's creative, you know, how you want to look, what you want to do, with the work, you know, even like the things that we do, right? You know, we want it to be a part of someone's everyday life and be useful.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for the experience, and I'm grateful for the time off. You know, I mean, in that aspect of the business. But I'm actually excited. You know, now I'm excited to get back to the online shop and see what happens. You know, see what people are interested in, add some new styles, some new colorways, some new scales in terms of sizing of certain pieces. And like our abstract palette earring is our best seller for our like showstopper pieces. And we're gonna offer that in sterling silver, do a limited edition copper, and then we'll have it in 3 different sizes. So 3 different scale of size, which is gonna show, okay, what's that gonna look like? You know, then we'll have some additions to that collection and other types of pieces, you know, like cuff, ring. So we're excited to roll that out. It's a lot. There's a lot that I have going on that I can't discuss. Yeah, so I'm, you know, now I have to sign like NDAs and all that stuff, which is really cool. Oh my God, this is so special, right? So, but I look forward to rolling out all these different projects throughout the year. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. You know, you got to learn from your experiences. You know, every just like, you know, DMX, may he rest in peace. What he says is you got to find the good in everything, even when it's a challenge. So, you know, the fact that I have the opportunity to be in front of so many different types of people to offer them a product and my soul connected to that is a blessing. So I'm here to learn and grow with my customer as well.
Yeah, that's your business. Everywhere that your work is your business card, your calling card.
Right.
You know, because people obviously recognize your work. like I'm almost at the point for myself, like if it's not even posted like on your stories or stuff, like I've been coming across stuff and I know it when I'm like,
that's Lorraine.
Yep. I'm like, I know what that is. I'm like, so yeah, I really admire, I enjoy watching from all these years I've been kind of watching. I love seeing just the progress and, the recognition that you're getting. Like every time I turn around, there's a magazine, there's a feature, there's a, it's donning somebody walking down the red car. I mean, you just had a piece recently that you posted of, was it somebody at the Grammys or the not Grammys? What was it?
Award show.
I think it was Critics' Choice Awards.
Viola Davis or something?
Viola Davis. Yeah.
Viola Davis.
Yeah, and then she also wore something. I need to post it, but she wore the 3-inch seamless illusion hoops, the ones I have on. She wore them for Entertainment Weekly. It's her second time wearing these. So I need to post that. But yeah, it's exciting. I got a really, really big, oh man, this is big. I got a big one coming in May. I'm so excited. I'm on the website, like, when's it coming? 'Cause in the magazine world, everything's like a month ahead.
Yeah.
So they did reveal the cover of this magazine, but I don't think they're going to have the magazines out probably until the end of the month. So you'll see it soon. I have no clue. The editor said, I think we're going to love it. So I have no clue what to expect. I'm not sure if it's a detail page, where they show like the product and the beautiful creative still life, or if it's on model, editorial. I have a feeling it's probably editorial, but I'll take either one for this particular publication. And it would be the first time that my work is in this particular publication in print. It has been online before.
Beautiful.
So I'm very excited about that. And I tell you, when you have certain successes that happen, it does remind you to keep moving forward and to thank yourself for moving forward. Like, what if you would have stopped? Then you wouldn't have this opportunity. Some things take a long time. I know a lot of the young jewelers that are doing fantastic work, and some of them, they're just like, they want to see things like happen quick, and that's great. But for me, it's like, that's not my story. Everything's kind of been like a slow burn, and I'm okay with that. I'd rather burn slow like incense, than
and last long, lasting effect.
Exactly. So I try to encourage my younger peers to I mean, I can't tell them not to be excited about moving forward. And it's also, we're a different generation, you know what I mean? So maybe I get to learn something from them, just to kind of keep that battery pack going, and then get to learn patience, from me. So, or resilience rather. So it's cool to, again, it's funny. I said something earlier about being in school, like my first semester in college, and not knowing that so many different people of different experiences are in the same classroom, because like when you're in high school, everyone's like a year or two apart, So now this kind of feels like that again, which is really cool. How you can learn from people with very little experience, and you can learn from people with a lot of experience. Because some people that are starting something for the first time, it's like they have this freshness, and it's like this vigor and excitement that when you're in something for a long time, you have to renew yourself so you can stay fresh and new and grow. It's almost like I started buying a lot of plants lately. And I had a few that I've had for years, but I'm just really getting into these plants. And sometimes with the soil, sometimes the leaves you can water this plant over and over again, but if the soil is not good, or it needs to be repotted, it won't grow. So you have to just try different things, You need light, you need water, you need the right nutrients, and we need the same things,
Yeah, that's for sure.
We can keep growing,
So this is we're going to wind it down, because I know you have you got business to tend to.
Oh yeah.
But talking about soil, one of the things I often talk about is, like, I look at region or geographical space as soil too. So being that you're in New York City, right? Have you ever thought to yourself, like, what would Lorraine West Jewelry be like if you were in Texas, if you were in California,
or even internationally?
Like, has that ever crossed your mind, or is it like New York the soil. Obviously, it's the soil for you right now, right?
Yeah.
But have you ever entertained that thought?
Yeah, I do entertain it. Yeah, very much so. I feel like if Lorraine West Jewelry moved to a different city, or Lorraine West and family moved to a different city, I'd probably set up a shop there. Like, I feel like New York is that place where you don't necessarily have to set up a brick and mortar or shop for people to come to. Because it's like that satellite hub,
Mm-hmm.
But I think if I did move somewhere else, maybe I'd want to set up something there to really like connect with the local people, because New York City has 5 boroughs, and then you have the people that travel here. Even in COVID, stylists are pulling, they're still traveling, they're wearing their masks, they're doing what they have to do. It's that place, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's one of the major cities, right, in the world for fashion.
Right.
So that's what kind of gives me a lot of my inspiration. But yeah, if I moved somewhere else, I'd want to have a space that people can come to create, that we create together, and they can purchase, and I'd probably do other types of things, like maybe it would expand me in a different way. So I'm not opposed to it. It just has to be a place that I really feel good about,
Right. Right.
Wow.
That's a really good question, because I think about it all the time.
Thank you. Yeah. So I have 2 more questions.
Sure.
I mean,
how's everybody? Because I can't see people's comments.
So some of the comment, I think everyone is really.
Have you been able to see the ones that's popped up, or no? Were you able to see?
I only saw just one that popped up, like from you all. But how do I see everyone?
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it actually in the stream. You'd have to go right to the to Facebook or YouTube. But
okay. Well, what are they saying? What are they saying?
Commenting about your story and the life-changing pivots that you had, the great points. Somebody did ask about your Etsy shop. I did go ahead and look. I saw it's kind of not active. It's just more so.
Yeah, it's not. But I think I'm going to turn it back on. I'm just going to copy everything that will be on the website.
Nice.
Because I'm still getting a lot of views, so maybe that's the opportunity. So that'll be back up too in June. How about that?
And that's one hub that people go to. It's like automatically.
It'll be back up.
Page.
So,
and that you have a powerhouse kid. Just the inspiration that you have in your story and what you shared, even from you growing up.
Awesome.
Yeah. Your commitment and focus to your artwork. You're inspirational. You're definitely inspirational to us because, we didn't know you when, but we've seen you progress since we've known you. And it's just been leaps and bounds. And it's so interesting that people don't know what you've had to do to get there over these last 20 years. They just see now. And that's very similar to where we are. It's like, we've all been grinding for years now. What you're seeing is, some of the flowers that we're starting to receive from the work that we've been putting down in the soil we've been planting.
The
stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. Before you ask those last 2 questions, I want to say something about that. Is that one of the things I learned when I was a younger artist was you have to go through the pain of not being good at something. Even when you think that you are. So for example, like growing up, I was pretty good at drawing from life. Like, like my college portfolios, like I drew this beautiful apple and with color pencil, and I did this sneaker, and I did other things. It was like really cool portfolio, right? But then when I got to college and we started taking life drawing, my first life drawing class, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, this drawing is so ugly. Why? Because I didn't know the inner workings of the body yet, right? So in the life drawing, we started learning about the skeletal system and how the skeleton moves, right? So how the rib cage and the pelvis go in the opposite way. So it's just certain things like that. I was able to start to draw the form better and better every week. The more I learned about the inner workings of the body and how the bones move and the muscles and all these different things. And then you get into the creative part, like, when you're bending, right? So we did the newsprint paper and the charcoal. So when you're bending, right, the model's bending, that part is darker, because that's the expression that's happening. And then when it's like the part that's like stretching is like the lighter line. So it's like things like that I learned when I was in school that I incorporate those nuances in my work now. You know what I mean? So like if I'm working on a ring or an engagement ring and it's like something that's, forking into each other, like how much of that am I going to show that interlocking? How much of that metal am I going to show? What's the millimeter that I have to show? How much do I need to consider when I clean it down? Right. So it's like with the jewelry, there's a lot of thought that I may not realize, a lot of math.
Thought, I was going to say thought, science, math,
chemistry, all these different things. But I'm so grateful for the drawing and particularly the life drawing training that I was able to receive, because it really, perhaps it helps me when I'm making pieces that I think about how someone's going to wear it, whether it be on stage or in a photo shoot or just every day, how are they going to interact with it? How is it going to feel on the body? What's the weight like? So I'm just really grateful for that education. Even though I didn't study jewelry formally, the art education really did help inform my design skills and, my understanding of space,
It's amazing.
Negative and positive space with the jewelry.
That's one of my favorite pieces you have. I don't remember how to pronounce it. It's the one that's a dinker symbol joint, the one with the bracelet joint.
Oh yes, the Fawahodi, yeah. I love that too.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
It looked like two V's cut the way.
Yes,
that's what it looks like. That's not what the symbol looks like. But when you look at it from the top, it looks like two V's.
I remember that
like
one.
A chevron kind of.
Yeah.
And that's cool that you brought that up, because actually, do you have the link to the retrospective you can put up for people? I think people should really go to that. They can learn more about.
I'll drop it in there.
About the brand and Lorraine.
Okay. It's in the email.
It's so funny, like learn more about Lorraine, and I'm Lorraine. But sometimes it feels like that. Well, learn more about Lorraine, because it was different Lorraines. I'm a different Lorraine now. But the Fawahodi cuff is cool because the chevron cuff was birthed from the Fawahodi. It came from the inner guts of the Fawahodi, and then the extra large triangle ring came from the chevron cuff. So that's like a sustainable piece that happened on accident. So some of my designs is very much on accident. I'm sure that you experienced that as well.
Yeah.
But it's like, but staying with it and sitting with it, you can see it. You can see, like, I think Bob Ross used to talk about the happy accidents in his painting. You got to be present to the happy accidents so it becomes something real, Yeah,
agreed.
So it's a little bit, I guess in a way, creation is almost like business. There's the planning and then there's the spontaneity, and they have to kind of meet.
And the implementation, making it happen. I have to ask this question just because, I know so many people that follow us as Eat Off Art as we're striving to change the narrative from a starving artist to a thriving artist. How do you do it all? You've mentioned that you're a wife, you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, but you are, you're implementing, you're creating, you are ideating, you are doing all of these pieces, and it's you.
Right.
You have help, you have assistance, you have a partnership with your husband, you have a thriving family, but that's a lot. How do you manage, or what grounds you?
That's a good question. I asked Lorraine. Lorraine, how do you do it? Girl, I don't know. Sometimes I don't. Like, sometimes it's just like adrenaline, I will say this. I am in the process of having my first meeting with an assistant that will be working with me for 1 to 3 months. She's actually a creative who I respect. She's, and she's kind of taking a break in her field, but she knows how to do a lot of the things that I need. So this is like my first step to build a structure and a position and all the different things that need to be done within that position. So I'm excited. And then I'll hire a permanent assistant. So
did you have
like
to
a
stop?
huge first step for me.
I was going to say, did you have to stop and say, I need help, or I need to ask for help?
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You know,
yeah, that's tough for a lot of people to do. Okay, so we know it's 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We want
to have a part two. We'll have to have a part two.
We have to have a part 2, but there's one question we absolutely have to ask, and it doesn't have to be long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't get to ask my 2 questions.
Well,
so.
Okay. Do you want me to ask the final question?
Yes.
No, we have to have a part 2.
We have to have a part 2. So the final question is, for every episode, we always ask our guests, like if you were to go to a party or a wedding, you always leave with a gift bag. So what one item, what one treat, what one spark of influence or takeaway would you put in the gift bag for our viewers today?
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I would put in the bag to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. So, and fill your cup where it's overflowing, so you have more to give. If you're coming from a place where you have an empty cup, then you're giving from a deficit, and you're taking away from yourself.
Love it.
So it's just like the body, the organs. If they don't get water, they'll steal from each other. And sometimes people have organ failure because they don't have enough water, right?
That's right.
So you have to keep everything hydrated.
That's dope. That's dope. And I'll end with this for everybody. For those of you that go back and watch it, the thing you're looking for is you.
Yeah.
That's from Lorraine West. The thing you're looking for is you. Take that with you too.
Yeah.
So, hey, we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
And your acquaintance. We really appreciate you. And we send you all our creative love and energy from the Wadgets to the, to the Lorraine West camp. And
thank you so much.
Yeah.
And perhaps we can have the boys join next time. They would love to be a part, and they can talk about their art.
Awesome.
Well. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Swade Jenkins. Swade Jenkins is Lorraine's husband's, who's also an artist as well and a musician. Swade Jenkins, look up his work. And yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. You too. I'm extremely inspired by you both. Love the work you do. And one of these days we're going to collab on something.
Oh, I already got. I'm sending that to you soon.
Okay, we won't tell anybody what it is.
Nope.
I got it.
Being worked on right now. We got you.
Can't wait. All right. Well, thanks to everybody in the comments. Can't wait to take a look. Thanks, Amanda. Amanda's just came up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
You too.
Thank you.
Well. All right, y'all. So that is the end of the Lorraine West podcast. That was exciting.
Yeah.
We had to stop it short. Lorraine is super busy. She's got so much going on. We wanted to keep her longer, but there'll be a part 2.
So thank you all. Linda, Asia, Amanda,
I know everybody.
Mimi,
we gotta go back through all the comments.
Yeah, thank you all. So we'll be, how
Fran, thank you. Veronica.
Yeah, V, D.
Oh, all y'all were on.
Hopefully, Auntie Joyce. Hopefully, my sister was watching because I think some of what
she needed to hear.
I think some of what
I think a lot of people need to hear that.
Man, was like customized for you. So
and this is like this fertile period, it seems like, for so many people right now, just like ideas brewing, maybe because people had so much time to reset and to go within to find out what that you is. And Tosha also, when we had our podcast with Tosha back in December, what was it you said?
She said,
look around it, follow your it.
Find your it.
You look around it.
You look around it.
You look under it.
You said, find your it.
So that's, it's really important that, you have people around you. And Fauna is on. She was.
All right, Fauna. That was. So I'm going back to the beginning to get the rest. Good. Listen, Lorraine was dropping some joints that I thought was particularly for what our conversation was earlier.
Yeah.
So
we are exactly where we need to be.
Go grab that.
And having the community that we have, and you all in your community, as you all find those folks that fill you up and build you up and support you when you want to lean or you want to fall. Have that community. And if you don't, eat off art. Join our community.
Yeah, we appreciate you all.
Yeah.
Go have a wonderful Sunday.
Yes. Peace and love. We're gonna go hang out with the dog.
Yep, he's waiting for us.
All right. Okay, I'm ending it now. All right, bye y'all. Peace.
Do you keep Lorraine on or no? She's still down there?